and then occasionally turn to me. Hi, welcome to the Maureen Pound Show. Today we have the amazing Fiona Wood, a very interesting story, how she is transforming my place, and we're going to find out how she can transform your place too. So let's welcome Fiona Wood. So today is really special because I've got Fiona right by my side. So welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your business, Fiona.
So I started off cleaning and organising for people, and that's kind of grown from there. I've now got Transform My Place. So it involves everything really from going into a room, basically it's sorting everything out and making it completely transformed to be beautiful and a space that you want to enjoy.
Excellent, excellent. So I always like to start the interview by asking people also something unusual or quirky about themselves or something they've done in their life, just so people get a feel for what sort of person you are. So what could you share with us?
So I've grown up all over the world, actually. So I was born in the UK, grew up in America, back to the UK. I'm currently in Australia. So I love to travel. I've always been really, really keen with organising. I actually won the first place prize in my elementary school for being the most organised in the classroom. I always had the most organised desk. So yeah, it's always been a real passion of mine. And it's great because it's actually something that a lot of other people find so overwhelming. So I find it such a lovely feeling to go into people's homes and do something I enjoy and help them with something that they find overwhelming.
Excellent. So tell you a little bit of a story is that I wanted someone to help me with my home and do a bit of organising and a bit of, sorting and some cleaning, etc. And then Fiona came along. And it's just amazing. So what started as something very small was, she made a suggestion. I can't even think of what it was, but maybe was something about, can you organise my pantry or something?
I think that was the first one. Yeah, that was the first one. It's the pantry,
And what I've realised then is how much time I wasted, how many items I bought twice, because things weren't organised.
Exactly. And I think that's the problem that a lot of people face. We're all so busy in our day-to-day lives. We don't maybe necessarily have time to organise our space. And also, like I said before, people find it very overwhelming. So they'll close the doors and they won't want to think about it again, which, is extremely common. But I think once you've got an organized space, it's so much easier to maintain and your life is just so much simpler. It's easier to find things. You're not buying things twice. You can see exactly what you have. And, even looking into your wardrobe, you can pick out that outfit in a minute or even a second, whereas before you'd be rooting through your drawers, you'd be trying to find that jumper. So yeah, I just think it's really helpful. And yeah, that's kind of how we started, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, we did. And so then Fiona did my my wardrobe and helped me chuck out a lot of stuff. And it's all beautifully organised now, so the items are there. And I found that I am wearing things more because I can actually find them. And in a way, there was a bit of guilt associated with getting you in because I felt like, I'm a grown woman. Surely I can organise my own place and whatever. But it's just not my area of expertise, and I hate it.
Yeah, and I think, again, that's so common. And, people don't see it as a priority. Like I said, you can close those doors and you can forget about it. It's not in your face all the time. We've got so much going on in our day-to-day lives. And if you can close that cupboard and not think about it, then we'll do that. That's what people will do. And that's what I would like to help people with. So when you do open those doors, you're not greeted with that mess and you're greeted with something that you can easily maintain and that you can easily use everything that you've got in your home.
Yeah, yeah. And so I don't know about people watching, but I often come home if I've been out of the house and how the house is when I've left it affects my mood. And, you know, and it's, you know, clutter. I think clutter, physical clutter also clutters the brain.
It absolutely does. It completely does. And I think once you, like I said, once you've got that organized space, everything is clear. It's clean and your mind is clear and clean, which I think is huge. You don't want to come back from work and be greeted with this mess that overwhelms you and fills you with these, you know, these feelings that aren't very nice. You want to be greeted with a relaxing space that you can sit down straight away and not have to worry about, and that you can look around and think, this is my place. This is my space to enjoy. You want to feel happy to be in your own home, in your own place.
Yeah. So that's how it started. And then since then, several clients and friends have used Fiona's services as well. And it's not like, oh, yes, a personal organiser. I said that mockingly. I didn't mean it like that. Who comes in and does a couple of hours over weeks. So this is transformation. So Fiona will come in and do a few days or a week or a couple of weeks and do the whole lot. So she has done things like help me throw stuff out. She has also bought new items for me, furniture and cushions and all sorts of stuff. And so she just handles everything. And that's what I love about it. I don't have to think too much.
Absolutely. And I think it's really, really key with this kind of thing is to have a process in place. So the process that I use is I'll start by obviously going to a person's home, or it could be an office, it could be a shed, it could be anywhere, just somewhere that you want to transform. So, you know, I'll go into that space. I'll ask you what you'd like to achieve. I think that's really important because, you know, you need to know what people want to use the room for. And that's, you know, you need to know what people want to achieve from that. So I think the process that I normally start with is, going to the home, finding out what you'd like to achieve. I then go into each room, and I think this is really, really key. You need to categorize everything. So you may have 100 blankets spread all out the house, and without actually having all of those blankets together, you're not going to know which ones you want to keep. Now, so that's stage one, is to categorize everything so that you can see everything in one area. Once you've got that categorized, it's so much easier to get rid of things. I always use this example to Maureen. But, you know, if you have 5 different towels and 3 of them are stained and grotty and 2 of them are lovely, why are you ever going to pick up the grotty towel over the nice one? You're not going to. So get rid of those 3 grotty ones that you're not going to use. Keep the nice things. You know, I watch a lot of Marie Kondo, and one thing that she always says is you want to pick up an item and you want it to fill you with joy. You're not going to pick up a gross towel or a gross blanket or whatever it is. If you pick it up and it doesn't fill you with joy, get rid of it. So that's stage 2, getting rid of things that you don't enjoy, that don't fill you with happiness. Now, once you've got that, once you've got, you know, fewer items in the home, then it's all about organizing those into different sections. So, you know, you may have a living room where you want a seating area and you want maybe a dining area. So you've got to separate those spaces. Once you separate those spaces, you can then organize the goods into those spaces to fit the area. You know, you want everything to be easily reachable. You want it to be easily maintained. So that's kind of stage 3. And then stage 4 is making it look beautiful. So once it's organized, once it's categorized, once it is, you know, to a space that's nice and clean, then we want to style it. We want to make it beautiful. So, you know, I'll sit with my customers and I'll say, what colors do you like? You know, what's your favorite style? Do you like Scandinavian? Do you like modern? And then what I can do is I can go out and I can buy those things for you. So you don't have to be going back and forth to the shop. You know, I'll do all of that for you. So I'll go and I'll be your personal shopper, which is actually my background. I'm a buyer, is my career. Well, my first career, I should say. So I'll go and buy all of that for you. I'll bring it back and I'll style your home, and that is it. Yeah. So those 4 stages, and you will have a beautiful, beautiful place.
Excellent. So let's get into some detail.
Yeah.
Because people want to see some stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then also, this is not about making it really expensive and having to buy a whole lot of new stuff. There's a lot of repurposing going on as well. So some things, because you're pulling out all your stuff and you're like, oh, that cushion's quite nice, I can use it there. Then you're actually finding some really good stuff that you already have in your house. So it's not like necessarily going off and buying hundreds of items. And there's some key items that Fiona has got for me that have been really great. So let's go through some of the things you've done.
So these are just kind of some of my tips when it comes to storage. So I think one tip that I've got is get rid of the boxes.
Yeah, I'll just hold
there we go. You hold that up. So rather than having these cupboards full of boxes that are just all stacked behind each other, you can't see what you've got, get all of your cat food, take it out of the box and put it in a lovely container like this. Now, all we're missing on this is a label, which will be coming soon. But then you can easily see what's in there. And it just looks so much cleaner. It looks lovely. Like, wouldn't you love to open your cupboard and just pick out one of your cat foods, feed your cat?
Yeah,
easy.
And then you can also pull it. Like what I've been doing in the bathroom is just pull. My cat food's not in the bathroom, by the way. People. Is pulling the container down, which we'll move on to next, and then just grabbing the stuff out and then putting it up, which makes it a lot easier for the children as well. So let's move on. Show me the other ones you got for my bathroom.
Okay. So I hope you don't mind me sharing this one.
That's right. That's fine. She didn't check beforehand.
One thing that I found in Maureen's bathroom is that she had hundreds of razors and so many toothpaste, you know, because they're put into drawers, they're pushed at the back. Then you think, oh, I've run out of toothpaste, I've run out of razors, I need to go buy another pack. So this, I think, is really key. So you may not think that you would want to have a clear container because you can see everything inside, but actually that is the trick. You sometimes want to be able to see exactly what you've got. So another example would be the lipsticks. You want to see that you've got all your lovely lipsticks and your brushes in there. And then when you put it back in, they're going to be organized. You're not just chucking it in a black box and pushing it back. You can see what's in there. So you don't have to buy doubles, and you also keep it maintained.
Yes. So when you're racing to get to your Zoom meeting on time and you need some lippy, you can just pull out your favourite pink and go for it. So it's all there in the same place. So now my bathroom has all these beautiful clear containers that are quite cost effective too, aren't they?
They are, yes. So I bought these ones from IKEA. You get it's around, I think, a pack of 8 for $10. So it's not expensive. You just make that investment, and trust me, you'll save it by not buying 10,000 toothpastes.
Yes, because we did find that I had quite a few packets of Sensodyne because for my teeth, because I buy it when it's on special, and they're not really saving because I keep buying toothpaste and I've got plenty.
Exactly.
So that's some of the other things. What do you find that mistakes people make in their home in terms of trying to organise them? So we've talked about people just piling things in cupboards, keeping too many things. What other things do you think that they mistakes people make?
I think as a population, we buy. We love to buy. We love to shop, and we buy things unnecessarily. And I think that, for me, once your space is organized, if you're going to buy something and you don't have a place for it, then don't buy it. I think people quite often, they see something in a shop, they love it, they buy it, they bring it home, and it's like, well, why did I buy this? Where am I going to put it? What am I actually going to do with this thing? So I think it's key to once you've got the organized space, if you then do purchase items, you've got to know where you're going to put it. You've got to know what use it's going to have. We quite often just are obsessed with buying. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel good to spend money. And actually, we don't need half of the things. And when your space is clean, you lead a much happier life, much happier than if you go to the shop and buy, all these things that you don't need.
Yeah. And it sounds like it makes the decision-making process easier of whether to buy it or not. Because you go, actually, I don't need the toothpaste, and I do not need another cushion for my couch.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know exactly.
Exactly. So it stops you from overbuying and buying things that we don't need.
Yeah.
Which I think is really good.
Now, there's another interesting thing. You've got different personality types and people needing different things. So there might be a guy in whose shed is, their haven, but, their tools aren't all there accessible, and they're still rummaging through toolboxes looking for things. So you might organise it for them in a certain way. But then there's some people who are really what I'd call anal who want it even more organised.
Absolutely.
Like some people, guys might want all the tools together, but some might want the hammers in,
size order.
Or
grouped into, silver and copper and
yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you can support people with that.
So I think that's why it's really important for the first step to be to go into someone's, I say place, not home, because it can be any kind of place or space. And to find out what they want to achieve. I think it's so important to interact with the customer, get to know their personality. Like you said, some people can be a lot more anal than others. I've sat on the floor and I've separated pink pom-poms from blue pom-poms. Some people may think, oh no, just, put all the pom-poms in one cupboard, but some people want it color coordinated. So I think that's why it's so important to sit down with your customer and listen to what they'd like to achieve. At the end of the day, I want to make the customer happy. It doesn't necessarily matter what I want. I can advise and I can explain why I think my advice will have a certain outcome. But if it's not what you want to achieve in the first place, then it's pointless. Yeah. I'm there for you and I want to achieve what you would like me to.
Yeah. And you know what else is been, I don't have mother guilt about overall my mothering skills. I'm doing a pretty good job.
Amazing job.
My kids are nice kids and they communicate reasonably well, and I think they're kind. And they're the sort of key things for me. But what I think that I get disappointed about is the fact that I'm teaching them bad habits. So I'm teaching them to be messy. I'm teaching them not to put things back by virtue of doing it myself. So what I'm really excited about, and I hope it's not too late, is that by getting things organised, by supporting them to only keep the things that they really cherish or use, that they then moving forward have good habits.
Absolutely. And I think your kids are a perfect example. When I first came in, they were a little bit concerned about the change, which is completely understandable. Someone new coming into their home, sorting through their things, and their playroom was potentially going to look completely different. That's completely understandable. But what I've found is that now that we've been, transforming their playroom, when they walk into the end result, they love it. They absolutely love it. It doesn't matter that it's different from how it began. They can see all their toys, they can play with all their toys. And I think from there, they then keep it clean because they know how it can make them feel for it to be clean. It's a scary thought for a child, for someone to come into their room and to be sorting through their things. They may like it messy, or they may think they like it messy. But once they see it clean, I think, it makes such a big difference. And the thing with me, I like to set up processes that are easy to maintain. So even for children, they're not going to want to spend hours cleaning. It needs to be very easy and quick for them to maintain once it is clean, tidy, and organised.
Yeah. And I think that's a key point you there. I think that sometimes you don't know what's going to be good for you and how you're going to feel when it's done.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think both of them are starting, and also giving them choice in it as well.
Yeah.
Like with Flynn, he's getting a desk, and I've been talking about it for years. And that's another thing that I don't want to do: talk about stuff with kids and then never save up and get something for them. But then we suggested a desk, didn't we? And what happened?
And he was like, "That'd be great. I could do my homework on there. I could look out the window. Sometimes they need a little nudge in the right direction, and they'll be.
Although he didn't like the colour.
He didn't like the colour, but that's fine. He liked the idea of the desk, and that's fine. If he doesn't like the colour, we can choose a different colour. I would like to involve my customers in the decision making. I am there for a reason. I'm to make it easier for them, but they need to enjoy the space at the end of the day. So it's important to have that back and forth. I will do the hard work, but I'll also ask you what you would like.
Yeah. So I just think it's a really great opportunity if you have, places in your home or garage or life that would be really great to organise. And I'm thinking of all stuff like garages, sheds, outdoor spaces, living areas, bedrooms, all sorts of space. But what I wanted to talk to you lastly about is your vehicle.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
So my dream when I came to Australia was to buy a camper van and completely convert it. Let me start over. Buy a van and completely convert it into a camper van that I could travel around Australia and live in. I've always been really keen with DIY. I renovated my home back in the UK. So what I did was I bought a van. It was a workman's van, a plumber's van.
Now, can I just say, it was seriously a workman's van. Like, not pretty. She was not pretty.
It was not pretty. It was not pretty. And yeah, I transformed it. And now I am, well, I'm not working for Maureen and my other customers. I'm traveling around Australia and I'm living in my van. I've got a little bedroom area, a kitchen area, an outdoor section. So yeah, I think that's really important, that it doesn't have to be, you know, a house. It could be a vehicle that you want to transform into a home. It's any area that you want to transform into something that you want to use.
Yeah.
And it's something I really enjoy. I loved doing the van.
Tell us about like with the van, because it's just amazing. It's so warm and inviting now, but also has places for everything. But tell me about your water system and how you did the storage stuff and the outdoor space.
Yeah, so it's all about planning. I'm a huge planner. So when I first bought the van, I sat down and I wrote a list of everything that I wanted. You know, do you want a shower? Do you want to be off grid? Do you want a large bed that's comfy, or do you want a small bed that won't take up so much space? So yeah, I wrote a list basically of everything that I wanted, everything that I thought I would use while I was on the road. So yeah, so my shower, for example, you know, I started out with this idea that I would have this huge pipe on the top of the van and I would fill it with water and I would have a shower on the other end. And it wasn't practical. It was too heavy. You know, I wasn't going to be able to get up those slight inclines. So now I've created a little outside tent and I've got a little solar shower bag, and I bring my little tool tent outside and I have a shower. And, you know, another area that I created was I wanted to be able to cook inside, but also outside. But I didn't want to be storing a table in the van because, you know, in a van, you don't have that much space. So what I've created is actually a table that's on brackets inside the van, and you slide it out on drawer sliders outside the van. So you've got your indoor cooking space and your outdoor cooking space all in one item. So a multi-purpose item, which I think is really key when you're doing vans. You want things to have a multi-purpose because you don't have much space to play with.
Yeah. And then I love also you opted for the big bed, the comfort.
I did.
Yes.
I did.
And tell us about what you did. Because I had a HZ station wagon back in 1990 that I drove around Australia in, and we just had an old mattress in the back. Mum put some curtains up, and we used to actually bring the things from the when we wanted to sleep in it, we'd move everything out the back into the front seat every single night. It was just crazy, and it was quite ugly as well. But you've done something amazing to your roof, so tell us about that.
I did. So something that I haven't talked about actually is budget when it comes to this styling. You know, I at the time when I did it was, you know, I had just came to Australia. I was traveling around. I didn't have a huge budget to play with. So I'd call it a hippie throw. That's probably what I'd call it. So the top of the van was awful. It was stained. You know, people had obviously been throwing their equipment in there and it scratched all the ceiling. And I looked at different options. You know, some people do kind of wood cladding in the van, which is beautiful. It's gorgeous. That wasn't within my budget. So what I decided to do was I sourced a throw from India. A hand-printed throw, which just looks absolutely stunning. And I have stapled it with a staple gun to the roof, and it flows so nicely. It's so hard to explain, but you know, it's just thinking about things like that. You want to fit with your budget, but you want it to look beautiful. So now when I'm laying in bed and I'm looking up, I have this gorgeous, gorgeous red hand-printed Indian throw, and it fit my budget, which I think is key.
Yeah, exactly. So it's quite amazing that you can also transform the tiniest of spaces to look amazing. So this is not about, you know, having this huge room that you need to fill. You know, you can actually make really small areas like the van pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's utilizing the space, which I think is you know, key. You want the space to be clean, but you need it to you know, do what you want it to do. You need to utilize it. You need to use every square inch when you're working with such a small space.
Yeah. And so what do you think, that this is more important to women or men, or do you think this is a every person type thing?
I think every person. I think the key thing is everyone wants to lead a simpler life. You don't, whether you're male or female, you don't want to have your mind cluttered. You don't want things to feel hectic. You want things to be quick, because we do live in a very fast-paced world. You want things to be easy. No one asks for things to be hard, male or female. And yeah, so I think it's for everyone. It's for everyone. And, that's where the styling comes in. I can style it slightly more male inclined, or I can style it slightly more female inclined. The process in place is still exactly the same. It's the end result will just maybe look slightly, I don't want to generalize here, because you could but it'll be tailored to what you would like it to be, whether you're male or female.
It's like Lana upstairs. You had some ideas. This is my daughter who's 12, and there were pinks, and she's not into pink. She's never been into pink, so it's like we're not putting pink anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's about working. It's about the individual, isn't it? Not the male, female. Anything like that.
Yeah.
So I actually take that back. It was a stupid question.
No, I think it's a good question, because some people may think males don't need an organized space. They have their bachelor pads. Like it's their pad. But actually, no, it makes their life easy, and everyone wants their life to be easy.
Yeah, and I used to have this guy working with me. I won't shout out to him just in case he doesn't want me to tell you. But he used to invite, the occasional date back, and it was really important, how his bedroom was styled. He couldn't, he wanted the walls to look amazing, with some beautiful prints and stuff. And and I think it's important because we judge ourselves and each other as well, don't we?
Exactly. And I have seen females that are messy. I've seen males that are messy. I've seen males that are, OCD. So it doesn't. Yeah, I think it's for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the key thing. It'll help everyone's lives. Children, adults, male, female, anyone.
Yeah, and I think it's just a really good thing to do. And what I like is that it's a total transformation. So it's not just, we'll fix this one thing. So Fiona can come in and do it all. So she gets her hands dirty, and as she said, follows that process. So if people are interested in contacting you, do you want to share your Facebook page?
Yeah, so I've got a Facebook page. It's called Transform My Place. So yeah, if you'd like to take a visit and see more what I'm about, then that would be great.
Excellent. So Fiona is spending some, the next year or so in Australia. Especially if you're in Sydney, I think you're going to spend quite a few months.
Yeah, I'd like to head to Sydney kind of from January. So if any of you are in Sydney and you'd like me to come and organise your place, then definitely send me a message. I'd be more than happy to help.
Yeah, excellent. So I cannot stress how this sounds in so ways so self-indulgent, and even now I feel like it is a little bit for myself. But it's been quite transformational for me to, as I said, the impact on the children, the impact on being able to find things and get out the door quicker in the morning. And there's a whole lot of stuff going on for me. So it's not just about the stuff or the lack of stuff or just the way it looks, but it's really, for me, about the way it feels.
Yeah, it's life-changing. You'll have so much more time to do the things that you enjoy doing once you've got an organised space.
Yeah, and if you are thinking of doing a bit of travelling and you want someone to help you out, deck out your van, I'm sure Fiona will be able to help you there as well.
Absolutely, it's a real passion.
Excellent. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
I interview awesome business people, and I think you're pretty awesome, and really appreciate all the help and support.
Thank you.
There you have it, Fiona Wood, and the Facebook page again is
Transform My Place.
Excellent. Okay, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fee, and we'll speak again soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So if you'd like to see more interviews with amazing business owners sharing extraordinary insights, click subscribe, then click the bell button, then click all, and we'll notify you.